everybody always talks about the emperor's new clothes, but perhaps we should just tell the parable in a condensed thumbnail sketch form. In the ancient kingdom of Fliggy Flap, use whatever name you want, in the European town of Snoople Snorp, there was a happy emperor over his happy little kingdom. And the emperor was into style, and he always wanted to look the best. And he was very attentive to always being according to the latest fad and fancy. And one day, to the emperor's court came some of the finest designers of clothing that the world had ever seen, and they brought beautiful gowns of gold and rubies and diamonds, and why he bought the gowns, and they were incredibly beautiful, and everyone loved them. And then they said, well, you've got to give us even more of your wealth and more of your power, and we will weave for you the most beautiful cloak ever seen by anyone in the world. It's just so beautiful that lowborn or people who aren't godlike, why, they can't even see it. They're blind to it. And so for many days they wove and they measured the king, and he sat there and ate his dinner while they did it. It took 3 days, and then he was going to have a big parade, and he stood up and looked in the mirror, and he was naked. But he thought, it must be I'm lowborn. Something's wrong. Well, I better not let them know. He's in a loincloth. And of course he goes, look how beautiful it is. I am the most handsome. And of course all of his little minions and servants went, yes, sir, it's very nice. None of them wanted to be the ones to say it was all a big fraud. They all, yes, it's beautiful. Yes, everything's fine. Yes. And so he had next day, the big parade, and he's at the front of it, marching. Everyone's, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so incredible. And a little 3-year-old child walked up and pointed their finger and said, the king, the emperor, he has no clothes. He's naked. And somebody else said, it's true, he's naked. It's true, he's naked. It's true, look, he's naked. He's not wearing any clothes. Your government admittedly kidnaps hundreds of thousands of women and children, and it's openly in Senate hearings, and no one gets in trouble. In Israel and in Saudi Arabia and in Malaysia, there are giant, 50-story slave hotels. And there are whole cruise lines with slaves on them. And members of Clinton's cabinet went on the slave ships. And there were news articles in the foreign press, and it's no big deal. I mean, what type of appetite, and we know they kill a lot of them when they get pregnant or are useless. They just kill them. I mean, where are they all going? And again, you just go, that's ridiculous. Just type it in. Just type it into Google. You get all the BBC, AP, but it was never on your nightly news. It was never on your nightly news. Oh, but one child gets kidnapped. We better have Amber Alert and have federal announcements and watch your neighbor. And, it's not for saving kids anymore. Report guns on the big billboards. Orwellian, do as you're told, la, la, la. See, Stalin said it. 1 man dies, it's a tragedy. 10,000 die, it's a statistic. They tell you when to care. They tell you when to not to care. They flip the switch. Torture's bad. Saddam tortures. He's the ultimate evil in the world. He tortures. An hour later, yeah, we're torturing people. Our government is. It's good. Torture is good. See, it's already gotten Orwellian, folks. And so you have the rat maze analogy, the emperor's new clothes analogy. But really, Don Darling with Veterans for Peace, who's still, I would say, following some of the maps they've made for him, but he's a really smart guy, submarine rescue ship captain in the Mediterranean, Navy diver, really great patriotic guy. And he found out it was all a big fraud. He found out they lied to him, and basically the government did radiation testing on our own people. I mean, the globalists take people who serve them the most and do bad things to them. It's their nature. It's an exercise of power. They like doing it. But he uses the example of map makers of the mind. If you wanted to drive from Texas to California, you've never been there before, and you pulled into my shop and I was selling gag maps, with the roads named wrong and confusing and lies. And I said, here, yeah. And I sold you that map. You'd be in a lot of trouble. Well, the globalists, the controllers, the corporate elite who are not free market, who are organized crime syndicates, who try to pacify you with baubles and trinkets while they control the banking system, the issuance of money, credit, commerce, everything. All the real things that really generate and control wealth that parasitically feed on us. They have made the maps of the mind. And so people are using false terms. That's why you try to talk to them. Yeah, but the Democrats are owned by the same people. Oh, you're just an evil right-winger. No, I don't believe in that. I believe in liberty versus slavery. Listen, that wasn't taught in the universities till 100 years ago. It was freedom versus slavery. There's, never in history was there left-right other than female-male. That was the only connotation for left-right, was female-male. It doesn't exist. Listen, you should look at the government. Does it give you more freedom or less freedom? Who's paying them? Who's controlling them? What are they doing? Not what their rhetoric is, but what their actions are. You're one of those crazy people. Well, no. Listen, I'm talking about liberty. We're losing freedom here. I think Hillary will save us. No. Hillary has dinner every week with Rupert Murdoch. It's all staged. They're in business with the Bushes. They're CIA. It's always been staged. Listen, it's admitted. I've interviewed the people in the CIA who were there when they were, offloading the cocaine. They're in, Barbara Bush and the rest of them call Bill Clinton their son. It's all staged. No, it's not. No. The corporations will put a Bush in. He'll do what he's supposed to. He takes all the blame. They remove him. They put a Democrat in. The agenda continues. And then we all fight with each other over, don't you talk about George Bush. Don't you talk about Bill Clinton.